Other viewers. Now, let's begin with the top story concerning the El-Nino rains. And the El-Nino rains, is it here or not? Well, that is the question on the lips of many Kenyans following the heavy rains that have been pounding the country in the last more than 1 week. The Meteorological Department has now come to clarify that the heavy rains are indeed linked to the El-Nino phenomenon and has warned Kenyans to be cautious during this season to avoid deaths. The statement by the Director of Meteorological Department, David Gikunga, comes less than 2 weeks after President William Ruto announced there will be no El Nino but instead heavy rains. And as Catherine Imugaret reports, the government says it has taken measures to help Kenyans suffering from effects of heavy rains.
The last few weeks have seen torrential rains pounding various parts of the country, leaving hundreds displaced from their homes. The worst areas being northern Kenya, where heavy floods have been witnessed, displacing hundreds of people, including deaths. Mandera, Wajir, Marsabit and Isiolo are among the areas hard hit. Today, hundreds of residents of Tractor in Isiolo County were left homeless after their homes were swept away by floods. The heavy rains pounding the country despite an assurance by President William Ruto that what the country was experiencing was not El Nino.
Umesikia wale watu wamesema tena ile El Nino haitakuweko, wamesema kutakuwa tu na mvua kubwa lakini haitafika pale ya kuharibu. Sisi tunamshukuru Mungu jameni.
But weeks of heavy rains have claimed several lives besides destruction of roads. Houses too in some areas have been marooned, leaving owners homeless. Many are wondering what the explanation of the heavy rains. So it is El Nino or not? The weatherman has come out Friday to put the facts right. While speaking today in Nairobi, the director of Kenya Meteorological Department, David Gikunga, apologized of the misleading reports from the department.
We do apologize for the lack of communication or miscommunication because that was a big mistake, but we are sorry about that. And moving forward, let's prepare ourselves for the enhanced rainfall as a result of the El Nino phenomenon that we are in at this time.
Besides Isiolo area, Meru County has also not been spared by the devastating effects of the rain. The number of dead from floods is still unknown, but those displaced are in hundreds, if not thousands. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, in his address Friday, said the government will ensure places affected by the floods get the necessary support. The flood victims will also get relied food from the state.
We are distributing food, maize, rice, beans and cooking oil and non-food items to tens of families affected to reduce their suffering.
Gachagua added that through the National Committee that deals with emergency, the state has released helicopters that will help in rescue operations during the rainy seasons.
We have activated multi-agency teams and mobilized technical and financial resources for easier response. The Emergency Response Committee is coordinating a consolidated approach for efficiency and effective action.
The government, through the Ministries of Health and that of Environment, are working together to ensure cleanliness standards are maintained in the rescue centers to prevent diseases caused by dirty hygiene and consumption of dirty water.
Efforts are ongoing on documentation of missing persons, livestock lost and the crops destroyed to the enhanced rains. We'll be making this data public once confirmed.
Gachagua has appealed to governmental organizations to support the interventions with the resources that will help deal with floods in the country. Catherine Imugaret, KTN News.
Meanwhile, deaths and destruction has been reported in many